Welcome to the latest edition of Junior Tennis Talk. I'm Beth Azan.
And I'm Caitee Morgan-Taylor.
And joining us today is Scott Howes, Manager of Adult Play with USTA Missouri Valley. Welcome, Scott.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to telling people more about tennis on campus, and especially our junior players in the Missouri Valley section.
Thank you. So Caitee and I are going to be releasing a 4-part series that's really focused around what can juniors do once they age out of that junior tournament space. So Scott wears a lot of hats, one of which is to manage our tennis on campus space. And that's going to be the focus to today's presentation. And then in December, he's going to join us again to talk about adult tournaments. So hopefully we will present some options that are available to our wide variety of junior players. We realize that not everyone's going to go on to play varsity tennis in college. And while that will be a discussion point, we feel it's really important to showcase some other programs through USTA that provide opportunities as you age out of junior tennis and become an adult. So we have some questions that we will cover today in respect to tennis on campus. And then there, may possibly be some side conversations that come up based on what Scott has to tell us today, because he's a wealth of information. And as it relates to tennis on campus, it's you all know probably just about as much as I do. So I'm excited to learn more about club tennis. We'll see where it takes us.
Yeah.
All right. So Scott, first things first, will you just tell us what is tennis on campus?
Yeah, so tennis on campus is a co-ed program that allows both males and females on campuses to either get involved with tennis or stay involved with tennis in a fun, just kind of a laid-back atmosphere for anybody and everybody on campus that wants to, whether they consider themselves tennis players or not, just a way to get involved or stay involved with the sport. So it's a non-varsity co-ed club program. So if you've played in high school and you thought, yeah, college varsity tennis is not for me, there's an option out there. You can go play intramurals on your campus, or kind of a step up from intramurals is a club team. So all colleges have club sports, club programs across their campus. And this is just a great, like I said, a non-varsity co-ed club tennis experience for anybody and everybody. They just got to find out how to get involved on their specific campus. It's a great way to meet new people. A lot of times that's kind of a big push on college campuses to just try new things and meet new people. And then oftentimes there's even a community service aspect, kind of like a fraternity or sorority. A lot of those clubs on campus kind of have a community service tie-in. So it's just a great way for all students just to stay more involved on their campus, especially if they love tennis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think you already answered this again, but let's just clear it up. Who is eligible to play club tennis and participate in tennis on campus?
Yeah, so obviously all undergraduate students, if you're a full-time student or even a part-time student, so full-time and part-time undergraduate students can play on their club tennis teams within their campus. And then even graduate students. So if you've already graduated and you're taking some part-time college courses at that university or full-time, but you could be a graduate student on that campus and still participate in tennis on campus. There is a certain number of semesters that you're eligible. You can't be in your 8th year of your doctorate and still play tennis on campus for 16 semesters. But and that's all covered under the NERSA guidelines, and those kind of tell you what you can and can't do in terms of club teams for tennis and other sports, really. So NERSA is just another organization that helps kind of keep the regulations in check. But yeah, all undergraduate, graduate students, full-time, part-time, come out and play some tennis on campus.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm heading to college. I arrive on campus. I get situated. So what's the next step? How do I sign up for a team?
So as an individual, what you want to do is maybe kind of keep an eye out for those freshman orientations where they have a lot of clubs and organizations set up to get involved with. And if there happens to be a table or a tent or a booth that's a tennis club related booth, yeah, definitely by all means check that out. Or just contact your universities. A lot of times clubs on campuses, they aren't always run by the same organization on campus. So like one campus might have their recreation department run all their club programs. Another one might have their student life department, or there's even some campuses that have their actual athletic department not only run their varsity programs, but run their club programs. So just check whatever school you're going to with, I'd start with the student life office to see where to go to find out where clubs are, obviously online. And then just obtain the information from your team's president or captain for the club tennis team on that campus, and then just kind of follow the processes to sign up for that team. It's usually pretty easy to do. Sometimes they might have a fee involved, so I would tell students to be prepared, maybe just to put forth an initial fee just to be part of the club, and then whatever expenses that you would incur along the way, which would be travel expenses, food expenses if you want to travel and play in some of these club matches.
Okay. So would it be best that if a player is inquiring into this on campus, like you said, I know when my son went to University of Arizona, they had a club fair. So it was a whole day that was dedicated right before school started, that you could go table to table and learn more about those clubs. But if you're picking up the phone, calling somewhere, or even looking online, will it say tennis on campus, or does it refer to tennis in a more general way, such as club tennis?
That's a great question, because a lot of players will play on their club tennis teams, and they'll participate in USTA tennis on campus events. Like we have a fall invite, and we have a section championship, one in the fall, one in the spring. And those are USTA sponsored. Tennis on campus is the actual the name of the program. But on your college campus, it may not say tennis on campus. It may just say your University of XYZ club tennis team. And they may or may not have any correlation with USTA, but our goal as an organization, the USTA, is to try to find and locate those clubs throughout our section, the 5-state section, and get those club teams to be part of our USTA tennis on campus program or product. So yeah, some students may not even realize that they're playing a tennis on campus match, where they may just think they're playing a club tennis, and sometimes they are. So you have University of XYZ versus University of ABC. They're going to play each other in a head-to-head match. May or may not be USTA sponsored event, but the two that we do throughout the course of the year, those players definitely, it'd be good to know eventually that they're a part of our USTA family.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So you've found your team, all those good things, or your club tennis team. How do you start a tennis on campus team?
Yeah, so if you're the president, vice president, or potentially the captain of the team, they're going to want to go to the, they might contact our section office first to say, hey, we got this club team. We want to be part of the tennis on campus program. So they would reach out to me. I would send them kind of like an inquiry form, just basic information about their contacts, email, phone number. And then, so that's just a short survey form that they would fill out. It might take them literally a couple minutes. And then I would want them to provide me with their contact information, so that I can reach out to them to let them know about what's going on throughout the section. Maybe it's a tournament that the University of Nebraska is hosting and they're looking for more teams. Well, I could get them in contact with that particular captain or president. And then that's kind of behind the scenes. And then we would obviously, to start a club team on your university's campus, you would need to follow the steps that each individual university might have. Maybe there's a charter, maybe there's some forms they need to fill out to become an official club team on their campus. So they would need to kind of follow the steps to make that happen, to become hopefully a USTA tennis on campus team.
Where does tennis on campus take place? Where do we play?
Yeah, wherever there's tennis courts. So you can, or not tennis courts. You know, there are some campuses that maybe won't allow their club teams to participate on their campus courts because maybe they're specifically designated for varsity. So sometimes these club teams got to find a place to play. Once there's a team, once there's members on that team, they're like, okay, now what do we do? What do we do? So you can play on campus. You can play off campus if you can find some local. Like there was a team this past weekend at our fall invite that they told me they practice. They have all their practices on the high school court within their city. So there's not always facilities to use on that campus, or at least enough facilities. So if they can work it out with their local high school, local Parks and Rec department, and then those, once you get that set, then a team could set up their individual weekly or biweekly or daily team practices. You can set up a match between another university and just have a dual match, head-to-head dual match. We strongly encourage that once you're on a team and you're the organizer of that team, to contact as many schools and universities within your area. There's always, a school within a driving distance where you can set up a match, play a head-to-head match. And then, some of the larger universities, I think Iowa State, for example, and WashU out of St. Louis, they host their own tournaments. So there's a tournament next weekend where Washington University out of St. Louis has a 24-team tournament there in St. Louis. So that's a lot of organization, and they'll come to their district office, their USTA district office, and their USTA section office, just looking for some extra assistance, whether it's funding or giveaways or something for the captains. And we're always happy to help. But we do strongly encourage that they go to their district office first. But then, and we host a couple tournaments throughout the year. And then the one that we host in the spring, the winners from that tournament, it's called the section championship. They proceed to participate in the national championship, either on the East Coast, West Coast. Actually, this year it happens to be centrally located at TCU University out of Dallas, Texas. So yeah, a lot of places to play, a lot of options for players once they get those teams set. We just want to keep rackets in their hands and keep them playing no matter where they can.
All right. Thank you, Scott. This is great information. So let's say I go to the University of Missouri as a graduate student, naturally, and I want to play
MIZ.
MIZ. Who do I play?
Yeah, so you could start. Obviously, they're going to have practices, so there's going to be some play opportunities against their own team members, and then even within the team, they could do challenge matches to see who goes to certain tournaments. Because a lot of tournaments you can only travel with so many players, so they might have a challenge match, and whoever wins those challenge matches will go on to play in those travel tournaments. But then those universities a university can set up a match. It doesn't necessarily have to be anybody within, like Iowa doesn't have to play against Iowa State, head to head. Iowa can go up to Michigan, or Nebraska can come down to even Texas, or if they really want to travel. We had a team that was from Columbia University out of New York that was thinking about coming to our fall invite here in Kansas City. So imagine the travel for that. They didn't end up being able to make it. But yeah, you can play in other universities across the section, across the United States. And if you want to keep it more local, contact your local high school, maybe set up a match with some of the high school teams in your area. Once you even, because maybe you got a team with a lot of freshmen on your club team. They're fresh out of high school. And then you have a local high school team that might be looking for some extra, competition. Or you could even go the other direction, maybe set up a match or some practices with your local college varsity team. And then there's always the option of some of the schools have a pretty good alumni tie to some of their former varsity or even former tennis on campus players. And, set up some matches with some alumni that they are used to going to that campus. And I'm sure they'd be happy to come back and participate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. We didn't practice this part, Scott.
Oh boy.
How many universities within the Missouri Valley 5-state area participate in
Yes,
tennis on campus?
sure.
And can you name them all?
I could name them all. I'm afraid I'd leave somebody out, but you know, we probably have. So we have 5 states. Our section covers a 5-state region here in the central part of the country, and although we have 7 districts, so if you break it down by state, we have approximately 4 universities per state. So we have about 20, roughly 20 tennis on campus programs throughout the Missouri Valley section. I would feel more comfortable if we had about 25 to 30. I think we can do that. We just have to do a little bit more digging on some of these schools that I feel like are big enough, or they don't even necessarily have to be a big university. There's a lot of small universities that participate in tennis on campus. But so you know, you got your Iowa State, your Kansas State, Nebraska, Oklahoma State. You got Truman State, WashU, St. Louis University, Southern Illinois University. Oklahoma Baptist, probably missing a couple there, but you know, just think of the universities within your state. Who do you think of first? Those schools usually have tennis on campus programs, and then there's a few others that we love, like here in Kansas City, we have UMKC, we have Rockhurst, we have Avila. So those schools currently don't have tennis on campus programs, but we'd love to get them kind of in the fold with the program. And we think that can happen. We just got to stick with it. It really like, we can do as much as we can do, but if you don't have the players on the campus that are really passionate about tennis, that want to get something started on their campus, then it's kind of like pulling teeth sometimes. It can be done, but if you have students coming to us asking questions about tennis on campus, how do I get it started? It's probably going to happen like that. If you have us going to colleges and ask, hey, do you have a tennis on campus program or a club tennis team? It can be done. It's just a little bit more difficult that way. So it's a 2-way street, but yeah.
Thank you.
So if you're a college freshman next year and your college does not have a club tennis team, by all means, reach out to us and we'll figure out a way to get things going. We'll give you resources, funding, grants, equipment, whatever we need to do to get a club team going on your campus. Just, you know, juniors and parents, let us know.
It's also a great thing to put on a resume.
Yeah.
Get something up and going and get it running for 4 years and grow it. Kind of like starting your own little company.
Yeah.
So I think you've answered this question because you've been so thorough. But since it's on the slide,
We'll touch on that.
When do you play?
Yeah, tennis on campus, you can play year round. I mean, but summer is kind of obviously with the school, we kind of base everything on the school year calendar for the most part. So summer is just kind of a slow time, if not a dead time for getting something going. But it's a good time to start thinking about, you know, tennis on campus for the fall. So now that we're in the fall, you know, we have our fall invitational every year here. And it's in Kansas City this year. It was in Kansas City a week ago. But it moves around, it travels. It can be somewhere else in the future. In fact, next year it's in St. Joe, Missouri. And then our section championship, same thing. It can travel to different facilities each year. It's been in Springfield at Cooper Tennis Complex the last couple of years. We'll be there again this next spring. And then there's the national championship. So it's really kind of a year-round thing. But I think of it as like in the fall and in the spring. I mean, because the winter, I mean, you can play some indoors. Usually colleges have a big winter break, so there's not a whole lot going on in the winter break. So when you can play anytime you want on your campus, the two seasons are really fall and spring. I consider those.
You touched on this a bit early on, but just again, we'll attack it. What are the costs to play?
Yeah, it's going to vary from campus to campus, from school to school. So I would anticipate most, if not all, the club teams just have some sort of fee to get involved, to be part of the club. And then it's just a matter of what you feel comfortable with in terms of expenditures for your personal, you know, what you have available for if you want to travel with the club. If you have rackets, balls, you know, some teams, one of the biggest expenses for some of those teams now is the balls. You know, you get a case of balls, probably over $100, $150 would be my guess if they try to buy those retail or online for a case of 24 cans. So I would assume most of the players come equipped with a racket, but if not, that could be another expense for a first-time player. And we encourage all skill levels of player to try club tennis and tennis on campus. It's not just for those players who played high school tennis, but it can be. It's not just for those players. I mean, we have everything from literally first-time tennis players who kind of need some more equipment than some of those players who've been around the game for a while. And then we have players that have even played college varsity level tennis who decided maybe that's not for them, and they revert back to tennis on campus. So there's a wide range, but the expenses just depends on each individual. But we do have resources available to help with that, especially travel. Like teams that make the national championships, there's a lot of expenses incurred there with travel and lodging and food and we definitely help those teams go into nationals with a stipend for each of those teams.
Awesome. Last but not least, who should we contact if we have questions about tennis on campus?
You can contact anybody here at the UST Missouri Valley office because we all kind of help each other out in terms of if you called about junior tournaments and junior programs, I could help you to some extent, but I'd get you in contact with the right person. But you may contact me anytime directly. Shoot me an email. We have a great staff here that's knowledgeable on all of our programs. But yeah, by all means, let me know. Contact me anytime, and we can get you set up with what the next step is for tennis on campus for your junior, soon to be college level tennis player. And don't get intimidated. Like a lot of people get intimidated. This is your chance. If you're a high school competitive tennis player. You can go to college and play tennis. It can happen. It doesn't have to be varsity tennis. And I tell you what, it's probably a lot more fun because it is a great time. I mean, those club teams, whatever sport you play in college, if you're playing a club sport, part of a club team, I mean, I would highly encourage to get involved with that.
Tennis is a lifetime sport, right? And this is a great way to keep going post juniors. So
yes, ma'am.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to having you back in December. We talk about adult tournaments. If you have questions as it relates to today and that we can forward to Scott, you know, my information's on here as well as Caitee, so please feel free to reach out to us. This is a QR code if you are watching and not listening to this presentation. We have been recording Junior Tennis Talk since January on an array of topics. So by all means, if you haven't listened to those, there's some good information out there, and you can scan that QR code. It will take you to our YouTube page. And next month, Alyssa Stelmach with Adult Leagues will be joining us. So we will explore what that looks like on our next Junior Tennis Talk.
Looking forward to learn about leagues. Yes, thank you, Beth, and thank you, Caitee, for today.
Thank you, Scott. We appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.